Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I've got my little minion cup. Um, just so you're aware, and I posted it on Schoology, but grades are out. Um, some of you may be pretty concerned about your grade. And if you look at the comments in Power School, it will tell you why you have the grade that you do. A lot of you are missing things like the final test that was assigned last week, as well as practices for that test on Schoology. Although the practices aren't graded, you're not going to do well on the test if you do not do the practices. So you're not allowed to take the test until you do the author point of view practice and the invisible thread practice on Schoology. And I think one of those we even did in a Friday meeting. So if you were gone for that Friday meeting, it's because you didn't check what you had. So a lot of you have makeup work to do to get your grade that may be at an F to where you would prefer it. And it's something easy that you can control. So just letting you know that little bit of information. So this week we don't have class Friday. So it is just going to be a work week from Monday through Thursday. Okay, there will be no class Friday, there will be no work Friday. So you're going to work extra hard this week to get caught up in what you need to, as well as working ahead on your narrative. This graphic organizer is due on Wednesday, okay, by midnight, because on Thursday you're going to start drafting your actually, I apologize. This is due Tuesday at midnight, okay? This graphic organizer, because you're going to start drafting your actual narrative Wednesday and Thursday, okay? You should have the rough draft finished by Thursday. Um, and then you have that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then class Monday. And by Tuesday next week, your narrative should be finished. And we're going to model it by using the same story that was Grounded. So the PDF of Grounded is on Schoology. Half a page is just background information about the characters. The other half is the story itself. So when we're doing our personal narrative, remember that you're focusing your topic on someone specifically who has helped you to learn a life lesson. So I'll do my example today. My example is Grandma Julie. She's my dad's mom, and she helped to influence me, Vanessa Benitez, by, and then what did she do? You could put the event in here, but ultimately you need to put what the life lesson is. So she taught me that failure is inevitable and perfection can never be achieved by one person. And she taught me this really throughout my childhood and life. But if I'm thinking of one specific moment, it was when I came to her after school one day and we sat down and I brought her a fish fillet and some a sundae, and we had a talk because I was having a really rough day and we cried. And she told me, you know what, as a retired woman, like, I have to tell you this now so you stop stressing so much. We had a lot of conversations. So in my narrative, excuse me, I have an itch. In my narrative, I'm going to put the characters who are in my story. And in this case, it's my Grandma Julie and me. There's no one else in there. Oops, me. Okay. So you can use this traits hand me down. Okay, to Google some traits that you would describe your character. So I know some right off the bat. My Grandma Julie is very strong-willed. She's wise, and she's also very witty. I would say I also am strong-willed. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I can be kind of emotional, and especially in this moment, I am very emotional. I don't know if emotional is the best word, though. Maybe not emotional. Maybe I would put I'll have to think on that one. Okay, so you're going to go through and at least put 3 traits in here. Then details. You could put what the person looked like during the event, what they were wearing, what taste, touch, smell, sights, sound that you heard. Okay, so these are all things that you can actually put in here. So I could put the sound of the siren that always goes past her house. The ambulance are always going past her house. The smell of her kitchen when we were in there, what she was wearing, okay, her kitchen looked like. Just a lot of details in the moment that you're going to put here. Dialogue between you and this character. So I remember her saying, Oh-ness. Okay, some of this you're going to have to make up a little bit because for me it's been 6 years. Um, you'll put yourself through HE double hockey sticks. This is really how she talks. So if you keep worrying like this, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up and work hard. Okay, something like that is what she told me. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not exactly. And then some things that I said back to her. Grandma, I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like I'm battling with myself and my profession. And maybe we said a few other things back and forth to each other. But even though I'm in the story, I said things back to my grandma, right? Then I'm going to put the conflict. What's the conflict in the narrative? So the conflict, or my problem, is that I felt in this moment that I didn't want to be a teacher anymore. I felt overwhelmed with stress and emotional baggage. That's why I went to her house to talk with her. Then I'm going to put the sequence of events. What happened? Okay, maybe the first thing was I left school crying. Maybe the second thing is I drove to her house, but on the way I stopped at McDonald's. That could be event 3. Event 4 is getting to her house and her being surprised. We sit down at the kitchen table, and event 5 is us talking. The conclusion could be that she gives me some wise words. It doesn't solve my problem, but it lets me know that I'm not alone and that nothing's going to be, perfect. So again, just short responses there. And then you're going to answer, are there any places in your nonfiction narrative that you could put signposts in? So now I'm going to be thinking, how am I going to structure this story? Is there a place where I could put an aha moment? Maybe it's something my grandma said and I was like, oh, that makes sense. It clicks, right? Tough question. I could ask my grandma, she could have asked me. I'll have to put that in there. And again, you can add some fictional aspects to this because we're not going to remember exactly what was said. Definitely my grandma has said some words the wiser, so I'd quote those as pieces of dialogue, excuse me. Memory moment. Well, the whole thing is a memory moment, but I could even start with a flashback of how my grandma's been there for me in the past. Kind of like Grounded started with about the grandma in the car, and she was a backup dancer and singer. Like, it told her before story before it tells what happens when the girl's grounded. So I think I might do half a page just on a memory moment of other times my grandma was there for me. Contrast, contradiction. Maybe it's something that my grandma does that I didn't expect her to do or say again and again. Is there something I say over and over and over? It could be like, I'm stressed, I'm worried, I, right? Then you're gonna start drafting. So hold off on this part right here. You're going to start drafting your narrative right here. I could title it Visit with Grandma. Now, I hate that title, right? Like, I'm going to change it and make it more creative. But just for right now, this is a rough draft. You're going to start typing, not like this, but you're really going to start typing your story out. It should be about a page to a page and a half, maybe even 2 pages double spaced. I would say to you to have a tab up of the story Grounded and literally model almost like that story with how you're going to tell your story. Use it as a guide to copy the author's craft and style and try and make it your own with yours. When you finish your draft by Thursday, okay, you are going to then go in and make it better by putting what are some words that I put in, but that I could replace with weighted words. And I'll put a lesson on that probably up on Thursday. Okay, so you need to have this whole graphic organizer done by tomorrow at midnight. I will check it. And Wednesday, you're going to start typing down here and then putting in some weighted words Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, so today and tomorrow, finishing this, just all of this graphic organizer. Wednesday and Thursday, actually type your story out down below. Okay. And then obviously check your Power School, check the things that you're missing, and get that stuff done. Okay. Bell just rang. Gotta go, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.